Hi, this video is about why SEO appears to be so chaotic. In actuality, it is chaotic in some ways, but not really in the ways that people think. Most people think that Google is constantly changing their algorithm, when really what makes things change and what drives the change in SEO is development of understanding, creation of software, and new techniques, and people who practice SEO doing these three things essentially and getting better at it. And the amount of available improvement in this area is astronomical. It's basically infinite. Even all the best people I know at SEO constantly are investing in research and development. I think it's a very, very large percentage of their time. Much more than just about any business, and that's because SEO is still kind of, I mean, it's a brand new business, and there's a lot that people don't understand. There's a lot of BS out there, and really there's major advances every year. Google can't really keep up with all of it all at all times, but they are trying, and so they can make a dent. But what I want to, this Archer versus Tank, which is obviously a very lopsided scenario, isn't necessarily Google versus other SEO. I made it more to show you someone who really invests heavily in research and development compared to someone who doesn't. Yeah, maybe an Archer could win. Maybe the Tank gets jammed and they blow themselves up. Maybe the Archer is real sneaky and the people inside are drunk. And he's able to get inside there and shoot them. Okay, so it's possible, right? But a lot of the people who just they come in, they understand a few things, and they think they get it, and then they don't spend any more time really researching it. They just go out there and they do it, and they do a lot of other things that isn't really making them get better. And this is the difference. The person who really invests over a long period of time is a Tank, and this other person is an Archer. Again, it's maybe 1 in 1,000 times that the Archer is going to win. Okay, so here's another important thing. I have 2-year-old videos with some incorrect information in them. A lot of the video is still useful, but a few statements are actually incorrect, right? And that's not just okay, but I think it's a really great sign. If someone still believes 100% about SEO that they did 2 or 3 years ago, that they believe today, if those two data sets are exactly the same or anywhere near exactly the same, then they really haven't invested in getting better and understanding more and developing new techniques. I'm constantly getting better. There's really an infinite amount of room for growth, and I mentioned that before. There's just so many opportunities, and it's hard for other people to understand how scalable SEO is and how powerful it can be, and just there's so many different concepts to understand that maybe Google doesn't even completely understand how that works. I don't really know. Or there's just tons of parts of their algorithm that most people really haven't figured out. That's really not public information that some of the really best people have understood. Let me just give you an example. Most people think of SEO as, okay, there's this X number of things, say a pie chart, and 70% is this, or 7% is this, and 27% is this, or whatever. And that's not really how the algorithm works. Yeah, there is a little bit of that, but a better way to think of it in a lot of cases, and this applies except when it doesn't, is a series of flags and if-thens. Imagine more like logic flowing through a logic, and if this condition is true, go this way. If this condition is true, go this way. If this condition is true, go this way. And there's just how many of those paths are there? I don't know, but it's probably a very high number. And so that's why there's a lot of different ways in which you can approach this. And there is, yes, Google does change their algorithm, and there are things that they do to respond to to actions they don't necessarily like. And then sometimes other actions get caught up in that. So it might just be, just because you don't do SEO doesn't necessarily mean you won't be hurt by an SEO update. It probably won't happen, but it can happen. It definitely has happened. And really every year there's constant people who are coming up with cool ideas, and a lot of them aren't sharing with people. Some of them are, some of them aren't. And so there's almost as many different ideas for how to do SEO as there are people doing SEO, other than the one thing I'm going to go into. So, but again, I said this before, the best I know in SEO, the best, always investing heavily in our research and development. They're always trying new things, testing new concepts, going and looking for different information, gathering the data and analyzing the data and doing it all over again. And there's a lot of people, I've encountered people who are like, yeah, I don't really like to test. It didn't really work for me. It's like, well, That's kind of the point. If it doesn't work, then that's data in your testing, right? That's something you should analyze. Well, you're doing something wrong. So figure it out, try new things, look up new information, try it from a different angle. And it's just some people just don't want to do that, or maybe they're not capable. I don't really know. I'm not going to presume. Okay, this is something that I've said multiple times kind of from different angles, but it's just, I'm probably going to say it many more times because people just don't seem to, this just doesn't seem to spread. There are some basic concepts that have stuck in the circle of public SEO information, and the center of this is all content marketing. And essentially there's the, let me put this in quotes, content marketing is SEO BS, right? It's part of the problem is it's not completely wrong. Content marketing can and does help for SEO. It's a very, very incomplete picture, though, of what is possible for what actions you can take to improve your SEO positioning. My analogy is it's a bit like describing an elephant to someone who's never seen one or heard of one as gray, right? And you know, there's so much more to an elephant. You think that they're going to be able to recognize an elephant if all they know is it's gray, or maybe it's gray and it has a tail, you know, something like that. Like that's about as much. There's so much more to SEO. Content marketing is a multifaceted way to do SEO, but it is one of many, many different ways that you can go about SEO. Content marketing is content marketing. It is not SEO in and of itself. Again, I mentioned before, there's essentially infinite opportunity. There's another thing that happens, which is, you know, additional developments just come along that no one predicted at all, like email, social media. To be fair, email's kind of been known for a long time in a very, very small community, but really, you know, no one really predicted it would be what it has become. And then social media, I don't think anyone predicted anything like that. And there's a lot more things like that. Some of them much less known than, you know, social media and email. Let me tell you how I approach my research and development. You know, it's always a very large amount of my time. Let's bring this. One angle that I take on it that very few people do is I'm kind of a software nerd. My knowledge base is a cross between understanding SEO and understanding software, and this is a very small group of people that really know SEO well and can build software. I won't say I'm the perfect best in the world at those, but I do build unique software that is proprietary. And so I don't just build the same thing that other people are doing. I see like stuff that's working, and I see a better way to do it. That software can help or enable new possibilities, and I just do it. And I'm constantly testing that. And so, you know, I've got one really awesome piece. This thing is really powerful. I call it Titan. And my slogan for it is, whoa, that's big, because what it can do is kind of, whoa, it's more than you thought possible. And then I have 3 more really cool pieces of software planned to go after in 2015. If only one of those turns out to be really good, then I'm happy. But I think all 3 of them have a very, very good chance. I'm kind of an information puzzles nerd. Yeah, SEO is definitely far more complex than like web design. Like understanding how to do SEO versus understanding how to do web design. And 99+ % of the businesses. There are types of businesses to where web design is more important, and in the approach they have to take is very complex. But that's few and far between, in my opinion. Okay, there's basically up to maybe millions of different steps you have to do, at least thousands of steps in an SEO process when you're trying to go through, let's just say, in a project. All right, so and you must be able to understand enough about SEO to be able to test, to not just do that, commit time to the testing, but understand SEO well enough to test the right combinations of steps. There's basically an infinite amount of bad paths. So someone who, you know, spends all their time research and development, but they understand very little about SEO, it's going to be difficult for them to find that. Not impossible. Most of the people who are really good got to start from someone who came up with some ideas, showed them something, or they maybe figured out a few things themselves and they really leveraged that really well, and then they explored other things beyond that. And very few people that I know, even the best people, not everything they know is something that they just came up with. So, but a lot of times they take someone else's concept and they add it to their own and make something more powerful. So that's all I have to say about this video. About why SEO appears to be so chaotic. Essentially, hopefully you can see why, yeah, part of it is kind of chaotic in that people are constantly coming up with better ideas, but it's not really for the reasons that people think. Google's algorithm and the principles of SEO don't really change that much. Yes, sometimes something changes, but overall they don't really change. So if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye.